What's up, everyone? So in part one, I talked about the NBA players that won't be traded. So in this video, I'll be looking at the players that will be traded in the trade deadline. So this article is by Fadeaway World, and the first player I'm gonna look at is Marcus Smart. So when Smart criticized Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum in the media, felt like the tipping point of the iceberg. Before the year began, Smart signed a 4-year extension to stay with the team. There are plenty of teams that would have loved to have Smart on their team for about $12 million per season. The Celtics needed an upgrade, and it could be Smart that headlines the package in the trade deadline. So the Celtics are 13-13 in the season, are coming off a season that saw them finish number 7 seed in the conference, and they were in the play-in tournament. At some point, the combination of Brown and Tatum needs to be questioned. Does the franchise need a third player to get this team back to the top? That's what Kyrie was for, but Kyrie blew it. However, whoever that player is, it will likely Smart's gonna be traded for him. So Marcus Smart is a long and tenured Celtic. It's about time they trade this guy. There's this locker room issue that was there in the 2020 postseason. I think it was game 2, and game 2 ended Celtics Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Smart was going ballistic in the locker room. Then Smart had some a comment that he threw towards Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown about them pounding the rock too much, not sharing the ball too much. So that really rubbed them the wrong way. So I feel like Danny Ainge stepped down last offseason when he failed to rebuild and bring some relevance to the Celtics. Now Brad Stevens is at the helm. So I feel like it's about time they ship away Marcus Smart. And I know Celtics fans don't want to hear that, but that's the reality. So this guy has to be shipped off to get together like a bona fide third star behind Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The next player we'll be looking at is Buddy Hield. So Buddy Love Hield. So Hield is shooting a career worst 35% from 3-point range, but owns 5 straight years of shooting at least 39% or better. He's a solid outside shooter despite what the numbers say now, because this guy was a 3-point champion at some point in time. He racked up a lot of threes through the years. You must look at his situation in Sacramento and wonder how much of the blame is on him and how much is the blame on the Kings, because honestly I feel like the Kings are just a place where athletes just go, their careers just die. I just feel like without the development of De'Aaron Fox, I don't feel like the Sacramento Kings will have anything better to do. And Buddy Hield showed his frustrations. They were supposed to trade him last season. It didn't happen. The offseason didn't happen. I don't know why they're holding him up. So with the Kings sort of hovering around the playing game conversation, this team is stuck in the middle in their decision making. So the reason that Hield will get traded is because he does not fit in. He doesn't fit in under Luke Walton's system. He is struggling to fit in now, specifically based on his combined 4 of 24 shooting from 3-point range in the past 5 games. So he has been shooting inefficiently from deep. Hield should have been traded years ago, but the Kings drug their feet. So that's the thing that I just kept saying. They should have just traded this guy so that you can just get a good haul for him. There are teams like the Sixers, Mavericks, Grizzlies, and Cavaliers who could use a player like Hield, so keep an eye on that rumor mill. So I feel like Hield to a place like the Sixers can be likely, but I don't know how the fit will be there, because they already have Shake Milton, they've got Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey in there. But I feel like the most realistic place for a guy like a Buddy Hield to go would be Memphis Grizzlies, just to assist Ja Morant right there. That would be my pick. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm not sure. Maybe he will go there, so we'll just know for sure. Then we've got Myles Turner, player for the Indiana Pacers. So the Indiana Pacers said that they're gonna put their players on the chopping blocks. But Domantas Sabonis, Myles Turner, they're gonna put them on the chopping block to see what haul they could get them. If the Pacers are on full on rebuild mode, they don't want to contend. I'm pretty sure with that, with that statement that they made, I'm pretty sure they just want to hit the rebuild they just hit the rebuild button and just restart from the beginning, because they're trying to move on from this situation. After Paul George left, I mean, the Pacers have never looked the same. Victor Oladipo was supposed to be that guy to carry the team, but he got stuck in the injury realm, so it wasn't working for them. The Pacers continue to be an irrelevant team, that is for sure. After some rumblings about the Pacers potentially shopping Domantas Sabonis, now the team is looking to sell all their players, while Sabonis is likely going to stay in Indiana as the crown player to build around. And that means that some players like Malcolm Brogdon, Caris LeVert, and Turner should be on the market. You have to, hit the rebuild, trade away all these guys when still have value. You don't want to sit on a player, and if you sit on a player, it can be very detrimental for a rebuild, because you're not going to get draft picks. These big draft picks that you want to get. So Turner is the most obvious player because he's a free agent in 2023. The frontcourt duo of Sabonis and Turner doesn't work because both of them are clogging the paint. So I mean, one player has to give the other a chance to be in the paint, and the other guy has to stretch to the three. So the Pacers don't want to use him on offense, but instead as a shot blocking role player. That's right there. They're just diminishing his talent and ability. So that's something I do not agree with. Turner could succeed somewhere else, and the Pacers need pieces to rebuild. So it seems like a future divorce in the making. So it's in the Pacers' best interest to trade away Myles Turner and get a good haul for him. So yeah, I mean, then we've got another player, Campbell Walker. The man who decided to go to the Celtics. He underperformed there, and right now he's with the Knicks. He was removed out of the rotation of the Knicks, and it's all downhill for him. After the Knicks benched Walker, there was a consensus shock around the league. Walker joined the Knicks on a 2-year deal to play in his hometown team, which, agreed to bench him. The problem is that Walker averaged 11 points, 2.6 rebounds, 3.1 assists per game. What stands out is that his 3-point shooting, 41.3%, is the first time he was shooting above 40% in his career. So you can see this guy is just flaky. He's just a flaky guy. A contender could use Walker, and he is paying on he's playing on a cheap $8.5 million salary. Although he was signed on a max deal in 2019, he got bought out. So his contract is stretched, so he's on a cheap $8.5 million contract. I'm not sure he's gonna get another contract like this $8.5 million. It's just the next contract he's gonna get is gonna be a vet minimum salary. Yeah. If Walker isn't going to play for New York, then he might as well be shopped for some sort of value. He's not worth a first round pick at this point. This guy was a star like two seasons ago. Right now he can't even he's only good for a second round pick. But the team could get some kind of draft capital or cash in return. Andre Drummond was in the same boat last year, but eventually got bought out. Walker has an extra year on his deal, so a trade is more likely. So the way the New York Knicks shut down Campbell Walker, it's rightfully so. They just have to move on from this guy and let this guy just go to another team, because this guy he just wasted away his opportunity to win a championship in 2019 by joining the Boston Celtics. We were Jared, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. He underperformed there. He got traded even before free agency, and the rest is history. I mean, I don't know how the future is going to look like for Campbell Walker. I don't even know if the league wants anyone like a Campbell Walker, but there's going to be a poor, incompetent franchise somewhere that's going to need his services. The same thing as a Ben Simmons, the guy that I really do not like. I don't like this guy. All eyes on the rebuilding teams, as in the teams are just looking at, all of the rebuilding teams have eyes on Ben Simmons. Excuse me. I mean, all the teams that are trying to hit the restart on their franchise, they have to. Simmons is a 3-time All-Star and has played superb defense, and can facilitate an offense like no other. In the Sixers, if the Sixers were better off without him, they couldn't be just 2 games over 500 and struggling to fight in the playoff pictures. So if he was good, the Sixers will have find a way. They will have found a way to get him back to the court. But this guy is just dealing with some mental health by being harassed on social media. He should just delete all his accounts and just focus on developing a good jumper. The 76ers overplayed their hand also by forcing him to play and by debunking his mental health. So this guy was getting fined. At some point, reports were saying he's gonna go broke. He was actually going broke because he's not paying because of the fines. So Simmons was owed $147 million over the next 4 seasons. 4 years before even the season began. For a contender, that's hard to match unless you're trading someone like a Russ Westbrook or Damian Lillard, 2 players who said they are not gonna get traded. I mean, the Blazers said the Damian Lillard Ben Simmons swap is not gonna happen because Damian Lillard is off limits. Russ Westbrook, he's not gonna be traded because adding a Ben Simmons inside a duo of AD and Braun is so counterproductive to what you're doing. So what about a team like the Pelicans, Thunder, Rockets, or Spurs? All of these players need a player to build around and have draft capital and salary relief, specifically the Thunder and the Rockets. So I feel like a place like the Rockets will be a good place for Ben Simmons for his career to go down and die, and go the John Wall route and gets bought out easy. So yeah, even the Timberwolves have appeal because the salary of D'Angelo Russell could be used in the package. But I don't feel like the Sixers would want a franchise guy like a D'Angelo Russell because it's not even the same level as a Ben Simmons. But potentially that can happen. Either way, this relationship is so severe that there's no way he ever suits up for the Sixers ever again. And that's at the point we are at. We have a guy that he was drafted number 1 overall. He has refused to change his play style. Not even change it. I just add on to his play style. He has refused to take a jump shot, and he even raises the question: how valuable can an NBA guard be without a jumper? So that's the question that he keeps forcing analysts to answer, and his play style costed the Sixers a conference finals appearance in 2019 and also in 2021, and all of them happened in a Game 7 situation. So this guy is the definition of inconsistent, doesn't want to improve, complacent, and he's so delusional to the point that he feels like all this success has clouded him, and he feels like he doesn't need a jumper to do anything. So that's where we are at, and he was bullied by the Sixers nation to the point where he can't even suit up. He can't even walk in a city in Philadelphia, and he has been a disappointment. And Ben Simmons' success became his own detriment. So yeah, I mean, that's all I gotta say about this. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comment section down below and what you feel about these trades. And with that being said, man, I'm out. Peace.